We're back. Another episode of the Golden V podcast. It is Monday, August 25th, 2025. We're here with Niall Donohue, the founder of C's Plus Baseball and also the Vancouver Canadians in-game announcer. So Niall is at the ballpark every day that there is a home game throughout the season. So Niall, thanks for checking in with us. I see from yesterday's press release, so the C's wrapped up that series against the Tri-City Dust Devils with only one loss.
That's right. Yeah, 5 out of 6. So a good week for the boys. And first series victory of the second half of 6 games. Yeah, so it'd been a while since they, usually not Bailey Stadium. The home cooking's always been good, but not necessarily so in the second half. I mean, they did take 2 out of 3 against Everett at the beginning of July, but they had some tough times since. That 3-7 homestand, that didn't help. Then losing 4 out of 6 to Hillsborough. But they found the winning formula again with 5 out of 6 against the Tri-City Dust Devils and winning 5 out of 6 the week before in Spokane. Right. So team's on a roll again, but question is, it might be a case of too little too late. Eugene just keeps on winning, and they got a huge lead heading into the last couple of weeks of the year.
Yeah, I was just looking that up before we started because I was trying to find that lead because I know something you texted me last week was that home game series where it was 7 games.
That's 10 games. That's right. Yeah, they went
right. So there's some makeup rainouts from the first half. Right. So that's where they killed themselves. So that series was which series again? Remind me. Sorry.
That was Eugene Emeralds. That's the team they have to catch if they want to make the playoffs for a 4th consecutive year. But the odds are pretty long. I mean, they'll have to hope. Basically, this is the case. The Canadians have to run the table and hope the Emeralds fall off the table completely. So,
yeah, I see it here. Northwest League overall we're 2 games back, but then here let's share it too, so our viewers can see it. But 2 games back overall, but a 7-game cushion for Eugene in the second half.
That's right. And unfortunately, overall record doesn't really. Excuse me, get the frog out of my throat. Pardon me. Unfortunately, they changed the rule. I believe it was a couple of years ago where overall record would have played into it, but now they changed it so that it's basically whatever happens in the first half doesn't apply to the second half. And Eugene got off to a tremendous start, and really they just haven't stopped. And it's looking very, very likely it's going to be an Everett Eugene Northwest League final because Everett, of course, winning the first half. I don't know what's going on the throat here today. I guess it's all the
the announcing.
All the announcing this week is catching up. But yeah, as I was saying, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be Eugene and Everett. So the Northwest League Championship Series will be brought to you by the letter E, unfortunately, unless something really drastic happens.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because we know what's happened in the last 3 seasons, obviously with Brent LaValle at the helm and the success in the playoffs, including the 2023 Northwest League Championship, and obviously losing to Spokane last year in the Northwest League Championship. So maybe a bit of a tough season, right? But when you look at the amount of guys that have been promoted, and obviously Brent moved up, and things like that, it's all people sometimes forget to, right? That the Northwest League is great baseball, but when you're at this level, I mean, you want guys to get promoted, you want guys to have a lot of success, and you want the organization overall, meaning the Blue Jays, to be in a better spot than it was, say, at the start of the season.
That's exactly it. Yeah, you're just hoping to see development. It is all about development, as you mentioned, Ben. Hoping that players do improve as the season wears along. Right. And, we've seen a lot of players come and go this year. I'm actually very interested to see exactly how many players. I haven't exactly totaled it up, but I know in years past it's been about 50 or 60 players that usually pass through in the season. We've had a lot of changes recently, a lot of call-ups from Dunedin. Of course, we have the draft class rolling in for Dunedin, so that's led to some promotions throughout the system with Vancouver, New Hampshire, Buffalo. I mean, that's really what the organization wants to see. Yes, winning is nice too, but the key really is development. That's what the player development staff, that's what they want to see. They want to see players getting better and then moving on up and helping out the big league team, or if nothing else, also developing some trade chips to trade at the big league level. So that's really what it's all about. But the Canadians overall having a winning season, so there's been a lot of positives there. They've also had some players of the week, some pitchers of the week. That's really what it's about. I believe it's 10 different individual award winners they've had this year. Maybe there might be some more coming down the line. Not sure if the league awards have been announced just yet, but I think Gage Stanifer's got a really good shot at pitcher of the week. Last week we had J.R. Freethy winning Northwest League Player of the Week. So it's been pretty good. So there have been some highlights. Yeah, the second half has been kind of disappointing, but the Canadians are finding that winning formula again, and they're off to Hillsborough, and they'll be looking to take some revenge on the Hops after the Hops came here and won 4 out of 6, and then they finish up the regular season against the Everett Aqua Sox, the team that is going on to the Northwest League Championship Series, and the team that beat out Vancouver by half a game by really virtue of the tiebreaker.
I was going to ask you that.
First half season series.
Yeah, so I got a good snapshot of lineups here in front of me just from games this season I've either gone to or you and I talked about. April 29th, May 18th, June 15th, June 24th, August 19th. And you can see the changes, right? Like obviously looking at April 29th, Victor Arias still here, Arjun Namala, Aaron Parker, Cutter Coffey, Sean Keys, Jackson Hornung, Brennan Orff, Nick Goodwin, Carter Cunningham. Obviously Jackson's now in AA. Javon Ward's in AA with the Fisher Cats. The one guy we should focus on a little bit, just based on his start and then what he's done since, is Arjun Namala, right? Because Arjun, he started out hot, and then he seems like he's cooled off, and then he's picked it up again a little bit in August. And then the other guy obviously had a question about seeing last Tuesday's game was Gage Stanifer, and then I saw how well he pitched yesterday. So let's start with Arjun.
Arjun, he's starting to come out of it a little bit more. He's had a pretty tough summer, no question about it. But the thing you got to keep in mind is he's only 19 years old. And in fact, he's still holding his own at the Northwest League, one of the youngest players, if not the youngest. It's been a season of growth for him, getting used to the full season grind here. I know there's a lot of talk that, yes, he's going to go to AA this season. But as it turned out, it's been an up and down year. But obviously the tools are still the toolbox. He still has 13 homers, I believe 15 or 16 stolen bases. So he's shown a good all-around game. He has shown his moments at shortstop as well. So, all in all, it's still been a positive season. Again, he's only 19 years old. I still think the future is very bright for him. I think the organization, it was kind of the same thing last year. He had some struggles, but he emerged from it when he was down in Dunedin.
Exactly.
He spent some time on the development list last year. So, it's he's only 19 and he's only going to get better. So,
he is.
He's going to take a lot of lessons out of this year. He's going to apply them, and I think he's going to be. I think he will have a monster season in 2026.
I was trying to look for Jasper, but I
couldn't find him. I'm just doing my podcast. Okay, thank you. Sorry, my daughter just wants to chat. Let's keep going.
That's live podcast.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay. Yeah, so let's talk about Gage Stanifer a little bit too, because I saw him last Tuesday, and what I felt was a couple of tough innings, maybe 1 and 2 now, and then he really settled down in that game and on Tuesday to the point where he was great. Like innings 3, 4, 5, and I believe 6, and then looks like he won again on Sunday. And I was chuckling because that pitcher for Tri-City, Jefferson Vargas, like he no-hit the C's through like 4 innings.
That's right.
Right. And I didn't know if it was then just because of where it was in the lineup, but then the C's caught fire in that game and they shut Tri-City down, right?
Yeah, and that was Arjun Namala who started that rally. That's right. Vargas started the game with 11 straight batters retired, and then Namala hit a double down the left field line. The next thing you know, the Canadians, I believe, had 5 straight hits and scoring 3 runs, and that turned out to be the difference. But getting to Gage Stanifer, I'll tell you what, his stock has just shot right up. I mean,
great,
tremendous story. It was all about basically it was a Ricky Vaughn situation out of Major League once he got fitted for contact lenses. Sometimes we see him use eyewear.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, and Mitch Bannon, the Athletic, had a great story about it, how basically that's what was discovered, had an astigmatism in his eye.
Wow.
And
That's
that got corrected, he started finding the strike zone on a more consistent basis, really piling up the strikeouts, going 2-0 this week. And again, hopefully that might be good enough for a Northwest League Pitcher of the Week award. I don't think it's been announced yet, but we'll find out. He's definitely in the running, no question about it. So, but yeah, Gabe Stanifer, his slider has been his bread and butter. The fastball, too, he's been able to dial it up 95, 96, 97. He's just been nasty, and he's been getting so many swings and misses with his pitch mix. He's been electric all season long. And, you may talk about Tracy Savage, but, for my money, the most exciting pitching prospect come through the season this year, Gage Stanifer.
That's awesome. And I just actually took a couple of shots last week too. I'll share this one of last Tuesday's lineup card, because when I took obviously you get the paper printouts, from guest services. But what I found interesting too about this shot, and I believe it's actually Chris Georges, who's been on the show before, who usually writes these guys. He had listed a couple of guys who were new to the ballpark that night last Tuesday. J.R. Freehey, reigning Northwest League Player of the Week, Chris had written down. And obviously Chris has been on the show before. Last Tuesday, third baseman Tucker Toman, Nat Bailey debut, and Matt Scannell, Nat Bailey debut. So let's talk a little bit about those two guys coming up and what that means for the season.
Well, J.R. Freehey, he was a draft pick out of Nevada in 2014, 14th round, I believe it was. And he's basically been an on-base machine. We definitely saw that the series in Spokane. He set the tone, really, that series. He was always on base to start off the first inning. Basically, he was kind of like, he was just an on-base king. I mean, no question about it, winning a Northwest League Player of the Week award. And I believe his career on base so far in his young professional career, over 400. So he's been a nice addition. You know what? He's been able to fill the void. We had Victor Arias, as you mentioned earlier. He was in the leadoff spot for a good part of the first, really for the first half of the season or so. So J.R. Freethey's done a nice job of picking up the torch and carrying it. And, it makes a big difference when you have somebody who can set the tone for you. And Freethey definitely did in Spokane last week, and also did so again. Have the day off on Sunday. So these guys do get the occasional scheduled day off. It was Sunday for Freethey, but he's been a nice addition so far to the lineup. Has played mostly infield, and I believe he saw one start at the outfield. So Blue Jays always like to have versatility among their players. If they can play infield, outfield, sometimes behind the plate, all the better. But as far as you're mentioning Tucker Toman was a second-round pick of the Blue Jays back in 2022. He and Cade Doty, you may remember him from 2020.
Yeah, I remember Cade Doty, who's now in Buffalo.
Yeah. They were both back-to-back picks, 77 and 78. Toman, it's been a bit of a grind for him to get here to Vancouver, but he's here finally after really 2 full seasons, better part of 3 seasons in Dunedin, switch hitter. And I'll tell you what, the one thing I've been really impressed about Tucker Toman, his arm. He's made some really nice plays at third base, and he's got a gun for an arm. I mean, all the throws I've seen him make from the hot corner always have been on the money, and he also started a really nice double play earlier in the week. So I really liked what I've seen from him. Cooled off a little bit over the weekend with the bat, but he had a nice start to his career in Spokane. Funny thing about him was first 3 Northwest League games, he got plunked by a pitch. His first 3 games, so wearing some bruises to start off. But he's been a nice addition so far, and taking over for Cutter Coffey. He was placed on the injured list. Cutter is still with the team. Not sure when he's going to be back yet.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I have some old lineup cards.
Yeah, so Cutter Coffey, he's really been their best hitter in the second half. He's really exploded on the scene really in the second half, and so we'll see if he does return maybe against Hillsborough. Again, working out with the team, just not sure when. He was placed on the 7-day injured list, but hopefully we'll see him back maybe by the time the team is back in Everett, or who knows, maybe he might get a brief cup of coffee in Double-A to end the year. So who knows? We're not really sure yet, but Tucker Tolman's done a nice job filling in. And you mentioned Matt Scannell. Matt hit a home run, his first Northwest League home run last Sunday in Spokane. He was a free agent signing out of Wake Forest. Only spent, I believe, 10 games in Dunedin, and they thought, well, he's ready to join Vancouver. So he's been added to the outfield mix as well. So, yeah, some exciting new faces to see. And, of course, on the pitching side, some new faces as well. I'm sure, I think you're probably leading into that. Silvano Echeverria, we got to see him wearing number 48. He wore number 32 in his first start at Spokane, but switched to 48. And 32 and 48, you know, kind of go off on a tangent here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Kind of big numbers in team history. Nate Pearson, of course, wore 32. And the last pitcher, I believe, to wear 48, I don't think it's been worn since, Alek Manoah. So, yeah, that kind of brought back some memories. Of course, when Alek Manoah arrived on the scene in 2019, throwing his high-octane fastball, which hit 100, I believe, once or twice. So, but Echeverria doesn't quite throw that hard, but he had a very impressive debut, going 6 2/3 innings, winning on, I believe, was Saturday or Friday, I should say, Friday. And, yeah, he looked pretty good. A 22-year-old out of Cuba. So, yeah, looked really good. So, you know, looked really promising. And I believe, you know, he had a pretty good mix, a lot of 90s pitches, a lot of 80s pitches. But, yeah, looked really good. And so nice addition to the rotation. So some fresh blood really helping things out for the Canadians the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned Manoah, too, because I watched yesterday's game. The Blue Jays were in Florida to play the Marlins. They lost. And they were talking a lot about Manoah and just his rehab from Tommy John. And I was kind of thinking about what he did at the Nat in the past and the way his career started. That Tommy John has been pretty rough on him.
Yeah, it has. He's still finding his way back. Is he going to help out the Jays down the stretch? Not really sure. I mean, so. He has improved from, you know, his rehab starts. He has gradually been getting better, but it's a case of is there enough time left in the year? Don't know yet. We'll see how things go for him down the line. But
yeah,
if he does not return for 2025, hopefully 2026, we'll see him return to full strength. But absolutely, you never know how pitchers recover from these arm injuries. I mean, the recovery rate's been a lot better, but sometimes you get the odd case where it might take a little bit longer. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I was going to say, let's wrap it up here by looking at the next two series. One more away series, obviously, against the Hops in Hillsborough, and then the final homestand against Everett starting next Tuesday.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual this year. The Canadians, again, unless something miraculous happens, basically the Canadians are going to be playing out the string against Hillsborough, as you mentioned, against Everett. But, of course, the one highlight of the homestand, another dog day, which will be held on Tuesday. Of course, always good to see the doggos out at Nap Bailey Stadium. So that's always a highlight, win or lose or draw. It's always great to see the dogs come out. It's nice to see that the team was able to schedule more than one dog day this year. And hopefully that's something the team
the dog days are great.
Do going forward is having more dog days. I think Everett, I believe, has 2 or 3 throughout the year.
Wow.
So it was kind of nice to see the Canadians kind of maybe take the cue and, you know, have another dog day. I mean, it's great to see all the dogs out the park, you know, just a whole overload of cuteness. I mean, I'm a sucker for that. Puppies, big dogs, whatever. I mean, it's great to see.
Yeah, I think it's a better thing than more fireworks nights. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, that brings people out to the park too. That's really the name of the game. I mean, but yeah, I believe we had something like 500 dogs out the last time. So hopefully maybe we can break the record, get a lot of dogs out for Tuesday, September 2nd, when Everett's in town.
All right, thanks. Now let's wrap it up there. I'm going to hopefully catch up with you at the ballpark next week. Thanks for doing this as always.
Oh, thanks a million for having me. Always good to talk ball with you.
Okay, well.